Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, did you watch the State of the Union address? Well, I decided last night after we talked, and we talked about the State of the Union and what we would be seeing, and I brought out the points that President Ford made in his speech in 1975. When he answered the question, the State of the Union is not good. Now, other than him, Presidents Reagan and others after him have always, in some way or another, said strong or good or whatever they used to describe their opinion of the State of the Union. And it wasn't any different last night. President Biden, at the end of his speech, ended with, "The state of our union is strong." And so I thought, going back over the points that he made and the rebuttal that we heard and all of the things considered, I compared it to what President Ford said, and he gave us 3 points, and I told he gave us 3 points, and I told those to you last night. And so I listened closely to... Oh, you poked yourself in the eye. You all right? I listened closely to parts of his speech and news reports and clips and opinions and all the different things that were given out since his speech. And I answered those questions for myself. If you saw my video, you know that President Ford cited several reasons why he felt the State of the Union was not good. His first point was that millions of people were out of work. Now, last night, President Biden touted that his administration had added 12 million new jobs to our nation, and I will say that people are back at work. But I am of the opinion that a lot of people were out of work simply because we were shut down for the virus restrictions, and people have went back to work. Businesses have opened back up. People have went back to their positions. And although jobs have been created, a lot of the 12 million jobs are jobs that already existed. To me, when a job is created, that means a new job was formed, something that wasn't there before. And I feel like a whole lot of these positions, people going back to their positions, or other people filling those positions at restaurants and movie theaters and all the places that were closed down, people have simply went back to work. The second thing that President Ford mentioned was that they were relying on others for their energy needs. Well, I think that we could see and we could say that we are dependent on other entities for our energy needs. The pipeline hasn't been opened back up, and we are relying on the relationships and the promises that we make to other countries to provide us with the energy needs that we have. We have family that have been in the pipelining industry for years. They raised their family going out and pipelining, and would save all of their income from that, and they would come home and be able to pay their bills and purchase homes and put their kids through school. And a lot of people, Oklahoma and Arkansas and other areas, really depended on pipelining jobs, good paying jobs. Now, those people, the pipelines haven't opened up, and they've had to find other positions, maybe pipelining or doing other work in the oil fields, wherever they might have been able to find them. Some people have had to leave that industry and go do something else. And there are those that will say they're happy that that's happened because it's forcing people out of the energy industry. But we've really hurt some of our hard-working blue-collar families that didn't depend on the government for handouts, didn't depend on anybody else to provide for their families except their sweat of their brow and their hard-working backs. And now they've had to go on to maybe jobs that don't pay what they were used to making on those hard-working jobs on the pipeline. You can see that the concerns that President Ford had back in 1975 that we have some of those concerns still today. We've had high gas prices, and I know that the gas prices are fluctuating, and they're touting that the gas prices are coming down. But I will tell you that has set off a chain of events, to set off a domino effect of higher gas prices and fuel prices and heating oil prices have caused us to have to do without other things to be able to afford that. Some of the powers that be will say that that's not true and that people aren't really hurting that way, but they get down to where we all live and they see that people are really struggling day to day to try to make ends meet because energy needs are through the roof. Propane gas, heating oil, natural gas, all of the things, even the cost of electric, all of the different sources of energy that people use, the prices are higher. It costs more now, and we are relying on others to make sure that we here in the U.S. have all that we need to make sure that we have all of our homes heated and our appliances working right, and that we're able to fire up our factories and do all of the work that we need to do. So you can see that's two of the concerns that President Ford had back in 1975 that made him answer the State of the Union is not good. The third thing that he mentioned, that President Ford mentioned, was the trust of the American people for the government. He said that the American people question their government's ability to make hard decisions and to stand by those hard decisions. One of the things that I think about when I hear them talking about the debt ceiling and the U.S. debt and all of that is that they expect the people of the United States in our individual homes to stick with the budget. I have to stick with the budget. You have to stick with the budget. There's only so much money from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. There's bills scattered all throughout there, and we have to make ends meet. And once the money is gone for the month, if we go over the budget, then we're just out of luck until the next paycheck comes around. We're required to stick within our budget, or we go into debt extremely high. And there are lots of people that are living in debt up to their eyeballs. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be chained to bills and banks and credit cards. I want to be free of all of that. I think that it is within reason to ask Washington to stay within their budget, and that means that there's probably some things that are going to have to be cut. And I'm not talking about the things that they use as scare tactics all the time, cutting Social Security for our elders and those that are in need of that. That is a big scare tactic that they use, and we don't need to fall prey to that. Also, our veterans need to be taken care of, and we don't need to, the veterans program needs to improve. We need to take care of our veterans. But there are things that we waste a lot of money on, and we know in our household budgets that if we can't afford things, the frivolous things have to go. So I say the fluff and the frivolous should be cut from the budget, and they should be expected to live just like the rest of us do, within a budget, within the means, and not expect the taxpayers to continuously give in more so all of the fluff can just get a whole lot fluffier. The other thing that President Ford said was that the American people expect Washington politics to be as usual. So that's my question to y'all. You heard the speech. A lot of you have let me know what you thought of the speech. And so, how is the State of the Union? Well, I think that the State of the Union needs some improvement. People out here are hurting. People are wondering and fretting about how in the world they're going to pay for their grocery bills. They're wondering how they're going to make ends meet, how they're going to send their kids to college and pay for their medical care and all of these things. So my question to you would be, do you, like the people back in 1975, if they took a poll of all of you today, and they asked the question, would you say that you expect Washington politics as usual? Or do you expect them to roll up their sleeves and to get to work and to figure out some of these hard challenges that we have here in the U.S.? Some of the day-to-day operations, the working together to try to get things done? Or do you expect more of things as usual? Now, I, for one, saw a lot of division last night. There were moments that they agreed on a few things, but there was a lot of things that they disagreed on. And I expected that to be, one side versus the other. You would see that just about in everything. There was a whole lot of things that they were divided on. And it's not just in Washington. We can see throughout this country that there's a whole lot of division, and they're doing their best to fight us. And we know the old saying, united we stand, but divided we fall. Today I'm going to leave you with my usual sign-off. But before I do that, ask yourself the question, do you expect the Washington politics as usual? Or did you get a little glimmer of hope in what you heard? Until next time, guys, this is Josie. I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. Do what you have to for your union, your family. And until next time, we're gone.